And once again, a huge shout out to all of our financial supporters over at patreon.com/878survivor FM. All of our production managers, Shane Murphy, Tank Dazza, Hawks Hammer. Our producers, Red Freedom, thank you all so much for your generous support over all of this time. Next, a huge thanks to all of our YouTube members, all of our emote bandits, our 87.8 survivors, King Alobar, Raymond Normoyle, Marson P2, Melbourne's Adventures, Pettywetty, The Greedy Peasant, Sauerkraut, and The Receding Man. And our two podcast bosses, Kenny Baker and Foxy Pote. All of you are legends who help the shows go on each and every week. Thank you all for your support, even just by watching or listening, and we hope you enjoy this week's show. And we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to the spotlight on the one and only Mr. French Baguette. DanceOfJesus, how you doing, buddy?
Oui. Doing good, man. What's up?
Mate, this has been a long time coming. Yeah, we were talking about this last year, but yeah, we finally got around to doing it. Do you like my shirt, mate?
What is it? Happy little... Oh, my God. It's the most Australian shirt.
It is. Happy little Vegemite. But yeah, it'd probably be like you wearing a baguette or fried snails or whatever you bloody weird Frenchies eat.
Listen, what is Vegemite again? It's like rotting like vegetables or something. You have no place to talk, Boydie, all right?
I know. Mate, how have you been? Back to work?
Very good. At work? Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. I mean, yeah.
So you guys are back on deck now?
Most of us, yeah, like 90%.
Yep.
It's been good vacations.
Well, you've got to make up, mate. You let us down, Adam promised us 5 updates, and you only did 4, and I just don't know whether I can trust you guys again. First there was the 2015 roadmap, and then there was weeks, not months, and now only 4 updates when you promised 5. You're breaking my heart, mate.
Listen, it was 4.5, all right, I guess. There was a lot of stuff that was not supposed to be included into 1.19 that was included anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, you guys are absolutely killing it, mate. There's like with all games, mate, there's always going to be issues, but I'm just so happy with the state of DayZ. It really is, even though you didn't get the award this year, it really is a labour of love. That I watched a video just the other day where the guy was saying, after 10 years and they're still developing the game. And yes, you could say that it wasn't a full release until, when was it, 2018, 2019? But the fact that they've stuck with this game all this time, that's insane. That's absolutely insane, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, when you've seen like the numbers back then, there was like 1,000 players playing at some point on daily.
Yeah.
It's like 40K, 50K.
The dark days, mate. The dark days.
That game.
We'll come back to DayZ and that. Let's get to know a little bit more about you, mate. So, how old are you?
23-ish something.
23,
I guess. I think,
mate. You're not old. You start forgetting your age when you get to around my age, mate. You've got no excuse to be 23.
I already gave up. I gave up already.
You're not big on birthdays and that sort of stuff, mate?
No. I wish I was born like a 2000, so I don't have to do like -1 every time. It's difficult to count.
And what got you into basically doing environment designs, making maps and stuff?
Basically, it started in like 2008, 2009. There was Far Cry 2 back then. I was playing on Xbox.
Oh, Far Cry 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of
and
my
it has like a map editor.
favorites.
Yeah. And I think it's like the only game I know of with like a map editor on console at least.
I did not know
And
that.
so I started. Yeah, well, I started doing this because I didn't have online back then. So
Yep.
that was what I was doing. Trying to make maps and stuff. I mean, I can even give you like the video that inspired me to start doing this, if I can
Mhm.
find it. I looked at it like a few weeks ago. There you go, it's this one. And yeah, basically inspired me to start mapping. And I did it for like a while. But then I kind of stopped, I wanted to switch to PC just to mod games, play modded GTA and stuff. And yeah, 2018, the game released finally, and modding was introduced, and started using community offline mode, doing some mapping on DayZ. So
I'm not sure if there's copyright music, so I've got the audio turned off.
yeah.
But I had no idea you could do this with Far Cry. That's just insane.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There's the old painting the trees down.
That's where it started, man.
Yep. And do you have any videos you saved of stuff that you made?
Oh no, I wish, man. I wish.
Yep.
I would pay a lot to see like what I've made back then. Probably wouldn't be impressive by any means, but
But I never really got into. I think I dabbled in the multiplayer side of it, but I never got into it. I just loved the campaign mode and storyline of the game. Yeah, it was an amazing game. The fire just took my breath away. The fact that you could use it as a weapon, start a fire, and have the fire go towards the bad guys, and that it was just absolutely brilliant.
yeah, I remember the AI being super difficult.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was, yeah.
But the other thing I loved about the game was the injury animations when you were healing yourself. You had the broken thumb and pulling shards out and burning wounds, and it was just amazing. Absolutely an amazing game. Phenomenal. And I had no idea you could do that back then. That's insane.
It was pretty cool. I don't know many games that have its own map editor integrated like this. I mean, it's like like an actual map editor. It's not like you have a pre-made map and you can place some objects. But yeah, that was a lot of fun I had making maps back then.
And you obviously progressed from there. What did you move on to next?
From today or like from back then?
From back then. Back then.
Oh, so yeah, like 2008, I do this, then I kind of pause, because how to say, yeah, I kind of went on another way.
Wait, you would have been about 9 or 10 then when you were doing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I didn't have like,
What a nerd.
Fuck you. I didn't have internet on the Xbox back then, so I just, try to have fun as much as I could.
Yep.
And a few years passed by. I just looked at it from far away. I watch Unreal Engine videos, but I don't know how to get into it. And anyway, yeah. Fast forward, 2018, DayZ releases, community offline mode comes out, and I start making map modifications.
So you had a gaming PC by then, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had my PC in like 2014 or something. So yeah, this is
right around the time when DayZ Standalone was kicking off.
Yeah, I mean, March 1st, 2014, I think, is when I bought DayZ. Like I was watching BBX play it. I've been watching BBX since like, I don't know, like 20.
Now, he's not someone that's very well known. Like he is known, but I don't think. I think there's a lot of DayZ players out there. He's just as big as like the Running Man, as big as Smoke, but with the French speaking community.
Yeah, he's the biggest French streamer by far.
Yeah, yep, and he's pretty much stuck with DayZ for all this time. I don't think he's played it as much lately. I haven't seen him streaming it that much, or is he still? I'm just not aware of it.
He's still streaming, yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't stream DayZ as much, or he does?
No, he does DayZ every day, pretty much.
Okay, yep.
The mask always now. But he's a beast. Like, it's just crazy how he can read what's happening on the map at any time. Like, I don't know how he does it.
Mm-hmm. I would actually love to get him on, but I'm not sure what his English speaking skills are like. So I have reached out to him a long time ago. I should probably follow up on that. Maybe we can get you to act as interpreter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his English is interesting.
Is interesting, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, DayZ, you discovered it back in 2014. What you still had that love of map making. When did you get to start playing around with that sort of stuff? Because obviously those tools weren't quite available at first.
Well, community offline mode from 2018 to like, I don't know, 2020, 2021-ish. But even back then, I think I started like messing around with terrain builder and, actual map making. So I was
how did
trying
you learn these skills?
With talent.
You wanker.
No, well, there isn't much information or like tutorials. It's mostly like armor-free stuff you're gonna find for terrain builder. But yeah, it's just how do we say, like, you fail, you try again, you fail, you try again, and you learn on the way. So I was just trying to make, like, at least set up a project to start working on. And yeah, I mean, just like everyone else, I was aiming way too high, like making giant maps. And
yep.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. You have to start small. At least make a very small project you can finish in like a month, maybe, like a very small island.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can start to aim higher.
So, how did you end up in as being part of the? Because I first became aware of you when DayZ expansion was starting up. How did you become part of that project?
Well, it was me and Archie back then, Archie Stormcloud.
Yep.
We were talking about making a server, and basically we wanted to make Chernarus walled off as a safe zone, but the entire rest of the map would be filled with toxic gas. And basically I wanted to make the safe zone feel different than the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the best way for this in like a post-apocalyptic game is to make it overgrown.
Yep.
So the outside of the walls were like all overgrown, like you can see like on some of the old screenshots, if I can find the Reddit post. Let me find it real quick. But it's just making it overgrown, and I was like, okay, so Chernarus is overgrown, but what about the rest? I feel like I have to continue this. And this is how it started, and at some point someone from expansion realized this has potential, and yeah, they got me in.
Yep. And you started, that's when the whole, I first became aware of the whole meme about the guy who places trees.
Yeah, because even now it's easy. You have like DayZ editor, you can just paint the trees, On community offline mode, you have to place every trees by hand, like one by one. And I placed like 40,000 trees or something by hand. It's just crazy. I don't know how I did it, man.
So who were your inspirations when you were looking at our DayZ map makers?
Say again, sorry?
Who were the people that inspired you when you looked at people who made maps?
Well, no one was really making maps I guess. Like I think I was the first, or like one of the first, at least, to make like a big project like this on
Yep.
DayZ. I had no idea about how to make an actual map. I knew there was like some tools out there, but there was like documentation was difficult to find. Informations were very inconsistent. So it was, yeah, I don't know. There wasn't really anyone who inspired me. I was just inspired of making something unique and share it with people. So this was my motivation, basically.
What about Sumrak? When did you first become aware of his work with Namolsk?
Samrak. I don't know when I started speaking with him. Sometimes, like, I guess I was made aware of him when in expansion. Like I had some issues probably, or like some questions, and some of the guys told me to go ask this guy. He's like the developer on DayZ. He's the map maker and everything. So I guess that's how I found out about him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I guess at some point I started using Twitter and following the DayZ account, and I guess it just rolled naturally. I kind of looking into him a bit more, and
Yep.
yeah, the mask stuff, he announced it, and I was like, okay, that's cool.
So the DayZ environment designer job.
Mm-hmm.
What made you put your hand up for it? Like, were you worried when you did?
I was worried when I got an email saying I was the chosen one.
Really?
Because that was kind of scary. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it.
So take us through the process. You applied. What happened after that?
So I made my resume and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I sent my application, and a few days later, I got an email saying there was like an interview for me.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, that's okay, So the interviews goes. They told me you're gonna have a reply in the next, I think it was like 2 weeks or something.
And that was, I'm guessing, an online interview, like webcam sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And yeah. So 2 weeks goes by. I have no response. The 15th day after the interview, I get an email saying, congratulations or something. That's how it went. So it was like they made me wait 15 days. And I mean, it's so fun looking at it now, But
Did you honestly think you you were going to get it?
I knew there was like some very talented people who applied, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I didn't ask Adam why me and not someone else, but
No, yeah. And look, I know Cabello applied as well, and he showed what he's capable of with Banov. And I remember at the time I was quite torn because I would have been happy for both of you, but I wasn't aware that other people had applied as well. But to say that I was happy when you got it, yeah, I was very, very happy for you, mate, because I know how passionate you are about this, and I think for a lot of us who are fans of DayZ, having a job with the dev team would be like a dream come true.
And it was kind of scary in a way because it's the first time I really went outside of France.
Yep.
And especially like in Czech Republic, I don't speak the language. But it's fine here. It's like they speak English in Prague, so it's mostly fine. And also first time living on my own as well. So that was very like an adventure.
And you've got a pretty good team there as well. I imagine they're looking after you as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Very good people, talented. Like it's so like it feels good being surrounded by like artists and also people that share the very same interest as you.
Yep.
Which is video games and specifically DayZ.
Would you say you've learnt a lot about game development in your time there? I know the answer is going to be yes, but like, how much have you learnt? That basically we all have preconceived ideas of what's involved in that, but you're part of a team now. You're getting to see how it really works. And was it a bit of an eye opener for you?
I kind of knew what to expect, but I guess you learn a few things here and there. Especially like the whole process, like how designers work with other people, like how useful and good having a producer is. Like you don't have to worry about, okay, what am I gonna do? Like you don't have to plan anything. Like the producer kind of does this for you, which is very good. It kind of puts a lot of weight off of your shoulders in a way, and it's like you learn a lot of information, I guess, on the way. I just don't know where to start, like, or to even give you some examples. But
where I was going to go from that was like with what you thought you knew, and now that when you started the job, how prepared were you for the job with the skills that you'd managed to teach yourself?
Well, I thought because I knew how to use Torrent Builder a bit, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to learn it like 100%. It's.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam was there for me. Like every time I had a question, I can just ask him, "Hey, how do you do this? Why is this happening?" And you learn very quickly. Actually, once you start spending like hours and hours, it's basically your job. You just use the same tool every day, and you just learn it. Super quickly.
I mean, it's got to be good as well that the lead dev of the DayZ dev team is a map guy himself. So you've got someone there who could give you some great advice as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Every time I have like a question, he's there for me. So that's very good.
Mm-hmm. Now, we'll come back to your current role, and I can see a few people have asked questions about Chernarus, Livonia, and so on, but we'll come back to that. What I wanted to do, and the part of the promo for this episode was that if you are developing maps or thinking about developing a map or anything like that, this is an episode you want to watch. Now that you have been in this job for a while, thinking back to when you were playing around with the Chernarus Redux that you guys made for the expansion project, and you've been working on your own map as well. What are some of the key things you wish you'd known back then that you know now?
Many things. I guess patience is the first one. Like making a map is like an insane thing to do. People think you can, maybe do it I can place like a whole city in like a few hours, maybe, just place some buildings here and there. But at the end of the day, you need to place all of the details. You need to do sat map, the mask. And it's like technical. You don't know what I'm talking about, but it's like a ton of work for doing not much, I guess. Like making a map, you can ask Kubito Live. He made Banov. I think he's like probably like 8,000, 9,000 hours into it.
Yeah, like it was at least a year before he released, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like crazy. And I mean, even me, like at the beginning, I saw like the first trailer of his map, and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a DayZ map. It's lacking a lot of details. But now you look into it, and you're like, okay, it's still not up there in like some very specific details, but most of it, it's like, okay, he knows what he's doing.
Like for someone like me who's got no skills, like someone who I can think of quite easily, John McClane at Deer Isle. The sheer amount of time that guy spent on stream just sitting there, and you'd watch him. Like I used to sometimes go in there and just lurk and just watch him, and it was like, I have not got the attention to detail to make a map. I do not have the patience for that, because he would just sit there spinning bushes and lining up fences and things like that, and it's just it's insane. You've got to be borderline like autistic with the detail to make it good.
Yeah, it's kind of like painting on a canvas. Like you start from nothing and you start building your, like, you see it take shape.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of what motivates you to go to the end, like finish the whole thing. Like, I don't know how to explain, but yeah, you see, like, you start making a village, and you're like, it doesn't look right. But then you start placing all the details, and it's what gives life to the area. And it's kind of what motivates me to do what I'm doing.
Yep. Sorry, I just looked at something that came up on my other screen. So, what advice would you give to people who are making maps at the moment? Where to start? Where to go to find information? I know there's some stuff available through BI officially, and that. I know there's the Big Grandpa Discord as well. Have you been in there?
Yeah. So I'll give you like places to go. DayZ Modders Discord. There is the terrain channel for map making in DayZ. Bad Grandpa's channel. Again, amazing, lot of information. And same like his YouTube channel, everything. And yeah, you're gonna find a lot of information. For example, if you type how to use Terrain Builder for DayZ, but you should also look for how to use Terrain Builder for Arma 3 because it's the same tools basically. And yeah, there's like some Bohemia documentation. It's a bit weird to use the wiki, I would say, because it's very spread out sometimes. And yeah, like, don't be like too ambitious for your first map. Don't make like some crazy like 40 by 40 kilometers. It's impossible. Start with like a small island you can do in a month, maybe at most. And yeah, don't be afraid of experimenting. And the most important thing is the beginning, like how you structure your project, how you do your settings in the samplers, all of that stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And patience.
And yeah, like you said in chat there, Darkwing Big Grandpa is a legend. I saw him post that he's back again this year, so that's going to be quite exciting because he's got a couple of pretty cool tools, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I actually sent him a message a few months ago, I think, or a few weeks, and I'm down to work with him. Like, I learned a lot of stuff again since I started doing this job, and I want to share this with him and the whole community. It's like things like using, like, how to work on your sat map, or like how to make a mask on Photoshop. I don't know, how to export EMF and whatnot. All of that stuff. I want to share it with people because it's kind of difficult sometimes to write like in Discord, like, okay, what's happening with this? Like, what is this doing? All of that. So I want to make like a Bible of terrain building for DayZ, in a way. It's gonna be like, even this is, I would be surprised if the video is not at least 5 to 10 hours long at the end.
Yep.
But I think it's necessary.
It's something that I've thought about because we've got the 87.8 website as well, and trying to collate as much of the information. So if someone Googles how to make a map for DayZ, and we can have that. We can have the link to Big Grandpa's Discord. We can have a link to the BI documentation, to your YouTube channel. Just trying to collate, as not be the information source, but be basically like the Refidex that, okay, I want to find out about this. Okay, it takes me to the 87A page. I click on, I want to learn how to make maps, and then bang, all the links are there. Not us trying to tell you how to do it, us just pointing you to the reputable people that are out there, but I suck with websites. But that's something we're going to try and work on this year, as one of the services we provide to the DayZ community. Collate all that sort of stuff in one place. It's easy to find for people.
Yeah, like a whole hub.
Yep. That's the word I'm looking for. A hub. That's why I surround myself with smarter people than me, because they know big words. Even though hub's only a 3-letter word, that's not really a big word. But just made myself showed how dumb I really am. But yeah, okay.
Not months, we're talking weeks.
Oh, what was that? Oh, Murray, thank you so much, buddy. Just tip $5. I really do appreciate that, buddy. Dance of Gorgeous. So, what other tips would you give to people? Is there anything else that you think that they should be aware of when they're getting into making their own maps? Do you recommend they start with maybe just playing with like Chernarus or something like that before they jump in and try to create a map from scratch?
I mean, I guess they could try to, first of all, use either way like community offline mode or the DayZ editor, and just go on Chernarus or Livonia and start either way improving a location, like an already existing location, or start making your own location. And like see if you like it, see what you can do with it, see like the whole potential. And just start from there. And one thing as well is learn how to search, especially on Discord, the Discord channel. Like for example, if your terrain is displaying textures from close up, but everything is black when far away, like just learn how to search like black terrain in terrain channel. Yeah, just it's gonna save you a lot of time. It's very useful.
What's one of the most common mistakes you see people make in some of the community maps that you've seen out there?
Well, one thing to, like, for example, if you do like nature, one of the most important things to do is like rotate the trees, give them a different scale.
I knew you were going to say that. Because DOJ and I, we chat quite a bit, and he said that's always one of the things that frustrates him the most is when he's looking at a map and all the trees are pointing in the same direction, and it's such a simple little thing. But yeah, the stream has been running for nearly 40 minutes now, Sauerkraut, probably 30 minutes. But yeah, anything else, DOJ?
I mean, yeah, I'm just going to explain why. So like in DayZ, we have like, for example, you take a forest and there is like only 2 different models for trees. And you have to make the most out of it. I mean, of course, like there's like other 3 models different, but when you look at a forest, like a pine forest in DayZ, that forest is going to have, most of it is going to be like 2 different models. And like, I don't know, 10-20% is going to be like some other models. But if you don't rotate these trees, if you don't give them different scales, they all going to look like it's repeating.
Yep.
Like if you look at texture from far away, you're going to see like a repeating pattern. It's the very same thing with trees. You got to give that chaotic look to break that repetition.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess it applies to everything. Like, be chaotic. Don't make things too perfect. Actually, Bad Grandpa made a video, I don't know when, explaining, I don't know, it was with like a Chinese bowl or something. Like, if you break a bowl, a bowl, whatever it's called, and you stitch it back together using glue. Let me try to find this, because I don't know how to explain, but he explained it perfectly. Do not be afraid of having imperfections in your map, because this is what's going to make it perfect. If everything is aligned perfectly, it's going to look unnatural.
Anyway, thank you so much for the €20 tip there, buddy. I've just put Big Grandpa's channel in there because he's probably got the most information about map making, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a lot of very good tutorials. Yeah, good information. And he was even on his Discord. There's a lot of talented people there, so
Yep.
you should definitely check it out. I'm just gonna try to find his video. I'm not sure if I can find it.
He's a bloody character as well. I love that he's an Aussie. But that hat he wears.
I can post this maybe in the chat. This is a very good tutorial to get you started. Maybe like see how the tools work for DayZ. It's gonna get you started pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
But I cannot find like what he said about making imperfections. But yeah, don't place everything. Like for example, like I think he said like a residential suburb or something. Do not place everything super straight, like exactly the same number. Always give a bit of again imperfection, like random rotation, and it's gonna make the whole difference.
Well, that's a very, very long video. 2 hour. Create a DayZ map in less than 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that is just setting up the project. That is nothing.
Yep.
He's gonna get you started at least.
Yeah.
Like if you want to start into this, you got to be aware that it's very difficult, and leave your brain somewhere else. Just dive in. I don't know, man. It's difficult.
That's easy for
trust
me to do, mate. That's easy for me. I'm like Homer Simpson with the monkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. I probably need to challenge myself and try some of this stuff. Maybe try a mod and try and make a small little map or something like that, just so that I can get a better understanding of how this sort of stuff works, because it does do my head in. And you can teach an old dog new tricks. So maybe a certain handsome French man could maybe take me under his wing, and we could work on making a street or something like that, and you could teach me how to play stuff.
Sure, we can do that, man. I'm telling you.
We shall.
Just hop on DayZ Models and look into it.
I'll be honest, that Discord scares me.
Why?
I go in there and I can barely understand half of the words that they're using in there.
Yeah, Adam kind of scared me one day. Like that was a few years ago, I think. I asked him something, and he responded to me, "Oh yeah, I do this, and using vectors and whatnot." And I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
And that's you were doing it, mate. You were already playing with that sort of stuff, and for someone like me, it's very daunting for entry-level people, and that's where people like Big Grandpa, Dumpgra, and so on come in handy, because Dumpgra is the next person I'm going to be doing a spotlight on, by the way, but he had to teach himself all this stuff, and it's all relatively recently. So he's got that perspective of someone going in with pretty much no knowledge of it, and now being one of the people, one of the most well-known and respected modders in the DayZ community at the moment. So, yeah. And if someone like you is struggling to understand the terminology they're using in there, then, it makes someone like me even more daunted about the prospect of going in there.
Yeah, but you start from somewhere, like I didn't learn all of this in one day. Like it's all like some of the technical words and stuff you're going to learn on the way. Now,
Murray, mate, there's got a nice segue into the next section. So, before you got the job, you were obviously working on your own map, and how do you go about structuring it? As he's got there, the long-term project. You've got an idea. Talk us through how you start and progress with it.
Well, I guess the first thing is what do you want to do? And you need to find some location or like something that's gonna you're like motivated into doing this. And you have to look at how the players are gonna play this map, how you're gonna lay it out, all of this. And next is to find good data. Like the data is the most. I got trapped by this.
What do you mean
Like
good
here,
data?
maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna explain. So for a map, you're gonna mostly need a height map and a satellite map. So the height map, I guess I can find you an example. It's like a black and white
map, a topographical map, which has got the contours, tells you the heights of the various layers and stuff like that. That's what you mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a picture so I can explain what's happening with that. There you go. That's just like random height map I found on Google. And basically, a height map is, I guess, taken by satellites. It's like radio waves they send to Earth and it bounces back or something. I don't know, but basically, the black areas are the lowest and the white areas are the top. So, like, you can see it's like a mountain area, and you can assume like the black parts are like going to be like rivers or some stuff. And you can tell using a .asc file. Okay, the blackest area is like, for example, minus 10 meters below the sea level, and the top, like the white area, is, I don't know, 1 kilometer above sea level. So you're gonna have a 1 kilometer high mountains, and this is how you transform a 2D texture like this into an actual terrain. And on top of that height map, you put your satellite map, and it's gonna, give you the texture for the terrain, basically. So you need to find good data for this, like good quality sat map that doesn't have too many, I don't know, artifacts, or like sometimes if you go on Google Maps, for example, you go in one area and a few kilometers to the left, it's going to be like a picture taken from a different day or like season. And you want to avoid that because at the end of the day, you're going to have to walk with this otherwise, and it's a pain. But yeah, basically you need to find a good height map that has a good resolution and a good satellite. And that's, that's pretty easy. There's like, you can use QGIS with, I think it's called the ARMA toolbox or something. There's like a few tutorials for that. But you can use Open Topography to get your height map. There's like many different sources you can get it from on this website. Terra Incognita for the satellite map. That's very good. I think it's easier to use than QGIS, I guess. QGIS kind of does things sometimes where it distorts the data, and I think it's just like a setting you can turn off somewhere, but I never found where. And yeah, like just search like if you go on Google and type getting satellite image or like getting height map data, DEM, which is data elevation map, I think. It's like it's just a different form of height maps. I don't know, just search on Google all of these terms, and you're gonna find eventually like sources to like where to get it from.
This is the QGIS you were talking about?
Yeah. It's like geographical software-ish. Like you can do a lot of stuff with it. Like it's not really meant for making video games map. It's more like for like urbanism. I don't know, people that studies nature or like earthquakes. I don't know. Like you can do so much stuff with it. And I mean, this is if you want to do like a real life location.
Yeah.
If you want to do your own thing, you can use softwares like I think it's World Creator. I'm not sure if that's the one. I use like another one that's very good. yeah, you can generate your own terrain, and it's going to generate the height map. It's going to generate the height map and the stat map.
Okay.
But if I would I would use another one called Gaia. It's GAEA, I think. This one has a free community version that you can export up to like 1000 pixels, I think. It's very user friendly, and it crashes a lot, but it's honestly is the easiest to use.
What's been a Gaia?
Yeah, this one. A very powerful thing. There's a few tutorials as well on YouTube to how to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can, like, if you want to place a mountain there, you can put a mask and say, okay, I want like a mountain biome. You can add some noise to it. You can, I don't know, anything you want, you can do it, probably.
What are the
You can start
limitations that you need to be aware of when making a map for DayZ, though?
The biggest one is the terrain grid, which is how many pixels per, how to say? Okay, you take that height map, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's like 1024 by 1024 pixels, but your map is 10 kilometers. So you're going to have 1 pixel per 10 meters, which means you can only move. I can actually maybe launch a terrain builder to show you.
Yeah, that'd be good if you could.
Just give me a few seconds, maybe a minute. Gotta find. Actually, I can try U-test maybe. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna launch the sample map from the. You can actually download this map on the sample GitHub thing. Let me find it real quick. Hang on. There you go. Okay, so this is bugged actually. I messed with it and it's bugged. Okay, let me launch another one. Oh my god, it's such a mess in here.
Slump. Maybe if we butter him up nice enough.
Nope, I don't think so.
Adam or someone from BI is probably lurking in chat with the finger hovering over the fire button.
Yeah, there's Scotty with like an AK-47 pointed on my head right now.
Hi, Scotty.
No, he's not. I don't know if he's here. Probably he's here, but okay. Let me stream this.
Yep, I'm ready to click on you once you start streaming.
All right, there you go. It's just like a test map. I was doing some testing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah. So like, I think this is like a 2000 by 2000 pixels height map, and I gave it like maybe actually like 2 kilometers. But the biggest limitation with DayZ is how many of these balls here you have per like the density, because this is basically you're like moving pixels. So you can see like if I do this, it's kind of extreme, but you can see the resolution of the terrain.
Yep.
And this is the most difficult thing to work with. For example, you take the rivers on the west side of Chernarus. You see how they all look square, kinda,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the reason why, because the grid, I think, on Chernarus is like 7 meters or something. So like every 7 meters, you can change one of these polygons. So that's, like you can see my cursor, there's like a human model next to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, That's a very, low resolution, I guess. So it can be difficult to place some rivers and make it look natural. And this is the biggest limitation, I guess, of the of Terrain Builder.
Okay, so
It's just
a question I have for you then, and this is a little bit off topic, but the Infusion engine, is that a better tool for building maps?
Oh yeah, by far.
Yep.
There's still like, a few things. I tried it. For example, how many? Okay, so do you see like this grass and the dirt? So basically, you paint a mask. I'm gonna try to actually. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's actually very bad. Don't look at this. I don't know what I did here.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know why it's bad. I'll just take your word for it.
This is something I did 2 years ago. Okay, so basically, you're supposed to have only yellow and green. You're not supposed to have like this gradient here, but you're supposed to have like 2 very unique colors.
Yep.
And you're gonna assign a texture to this yellow color in your layers.cfg, and it's gonna say, okay, this color, which is like, I don't know, like 0, 255, 150 RGB values, give it dirt texture.
Yep.
Like from far away, you can see like this is the sat map. And when you get up close, you're gonna see like it starts to transform into this dirt. It's kind of difficult to notice.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. And basically the green, which is not supposed to be like this, it's supposed to be just green like this green here. Assign the grass texture to it, so from up close you're gonna see this. And from what I've tested in Fusion, is that you can only have 5 of these per blocks. And a block is basically like, you have to divide, for example, your map into like 32 by 32 or like 16 by 16. So like, if you look on the top left, like I'm making like a square shape. Mm-hmm. There's going to be one block, then there's going to be another block here, there's going to be another block here, and you can have in one block 5 textures at most. In DayZ, you can go up to 6 without any issues. You can go up to 7, but it's gonna start doing some weird stuff with like texture transitions in some places. And if you go above that, there's gonna be like some big issues, like textures are not gonna be displaying correctly at all.
Now, if any of you guys in chat who are the map makers who've come in to watch this, if you guys have got any specific questions about what he's talking about, put them in chat so we can address them, because I'm too stupid to fully understand the implications of exactly what he's talking about. But I'm seeing some of you are saying that this is good stuff, like Redbeard or your comment there. So if there's anything you would like expanded or explained in a bit more detail, now's the time to do it while we've got DOJ here explaining this stuff. So carry on, DOJ.
Basically, in DayZ you can go up to 7 with some issues, but up to 7, and in Reforger or in Fusion, the world creator, you can go up to 5 at most. But at least you can have like much more blocks per maps. Ignore this, by the way. This was for demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
You can have many more of these blocks. So technically, you can get away with more textures on the entire map, more different textures. It's kind of difficult to explain, but yeah, that's the biggest. It's not a drawback. It's more like I've tried to port like this map on.
Limitation.
I was trying to port this map on Infusion. This is like my test map, and I had like some issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually start from scratch, it's way better. Like you don't have idea like how much easier it is to start making a map from scratch on Infusion. It's crazy easy compared to this.
Yep. So what Sauerkraut has written there, does that make sense to you?
The nav mesh?
Yes.
Uh,
And if you could you dumb it down for the idiots like me who don't quite understand what that means? I do know what nav mesh is because I know that creates a lot of issues with but I sort of don't understand what they mean by creating a nav mesh from what this is. Nav mesh, from my basic understanding, is that's one of the critical things for like zombie pathing and things like that, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I follow the same. I think it's this link. Yeah, I follow the same thing. I don't remember how I do it because it's not the thing I do every day. Like we have tools that do it automatically for us, which is it's amazing. Yeah, just the best you can do is like follow this tutorial, and yeah, that's it. Let me just try to launch the game with. I don't know if the public debug one has like the nav mesh visualizer, but let me try to find it. I'm gonna show you like what the nav mesh does. Basically, it's very interesting.
Oh, we lost him. Oh, he's back.
I'm escaped.
Boomer.
Yeah, so nav mesh is basically it tells the AI what to do, like where to go, how to navigate the map.
Yep.
So let me just see real quick if I can show you this. If I can't, I may be able to find some pictures. The nav mesh is like critical when it comes to AI, like animals, infected, whatever.
Sauerkraut saying that, yeah, I did try that, but it always failed. I think Maddie, who was doing Bitterroot, had the same problem and had to start over again. So why would that be an issue? Does that make sense to you?
Can you say again? Sorry.
So Sauerkraut just wrote in chat, yeah, I did try that, but it always failed. I think Maddie, who was doing Bitterroot, had the same problem and had to start over again. So is there like critical things you can do wrong that will mean that the nav mesh won't generate?
I'm not sure. The only thing I would see is like if you have like actually no. Honestly, I'm not an expert in generating nav mesh. I've done it a few times, but I've never had issues, so that would be interesting to look into it. But yeah, basically, like what I'm showing you here is all of the this is Chernarus. And what you're looking at is, for example, this is where the infected are going to be able to jump.
Yep.
So the infected, you're going to never see them jump over this specific area. They're always going to be there here. Okay, maybe able to show this. Using the DayZ editor. Enable simulation? Yeah.
He's just going to run around it.
Okay. Classic. So there you go.
Yep.
So this is why sometimes they kind of struggle to to go in some places. The thing is, you have to keep the nav mesh. Of course, he's going around. I guess he's trying to do like the quickest way, maybe. Yeah, see, like he jumped over this place,
Yep.
but he's never gonna jump over this. What? Oh no. That's something for me to fix.
Busted.
See, he's trying to find the path. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I guess there's like some what is it?
Overlap.
Yeah, I mean, he managed to get it here, but yeah, again, you're never gonna see it here, I guess, unless he's like sliding or something.
And these
But basically, the nav
these all
mesh-
have to be placed manually, or this nav mesh
No.
generation will do that automatically.
No, this is automatic.
And even for someone
thing
making
is-
their own map, just by placing those fences, those things will be generated automatically, or is that something you need to manually add when you're creating your own map?
No. If you follow the link I sent, the nav mesh generation, it's all gonna do it for you. It does like a cool thing where you can actually see the texture, I guess, being generated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and basically like the nav mesh, it has to stay, like it could be like higher resolution, so like he could jump all over like over the fence everywhere, but from what I understand about nav mesh, which is not much honestly, it still has to stay somewhat low-ish resolution, so it doesn't become like 1 gigabyte that's always in memory. Because I think, I'm not sure, but I think the nav mesh is always in the memory when the game is playing. And the current one is like 300 megabits, which is, I mean, it's decently sized. But you don't want like a nav mesh that's like 2 gigabytes. That's way too much. It's gonna cause performance issues and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That's from what I understand. And again, like nav mesh, I'm not that big into it. But yeah, just to explain, basically, and about like generation issues, I've never experienced them. So, I mean, I can talk to these people. No issues.
I
look into
would
it.
say that if you are having an issue, maybe send DOJ a message, and if he can look into it for you, and maybe ask Adam, because maybe you guys are finding an issue that needs to be addressed on a bigger scale. Who knows? If you don't mention it to them, they won't know. So the worst they're going to say is can't help you. Everything from there is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm just popping into like the DayZ Models Discord in the terrain channel for DayZ.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is the best place to talk about it, or like in Big Grandpa's Discord, because at least when you have an issue, you can talk there, and like everyone else is going to be able to look into it or like search it at some point.
Yep.
So yeah. But yeah, I haven't like done that many nav mesh generations, so I never had issues. But yeah, I can see how it can go wrong. There's like many things that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always one thing with map development. If you do like one thing wrong, the rest is gonna go wrong anyway after that. You gotta do things perfectly, and you gotta be very consistent in your work, like at least the way you work, I would say.
Now, Darkwing said they heard rumors of a plugin that will add geometry to object builder items.
Hang on, say again, sorry.
He heard rumors of a plugin that will add geometry to object builder items.
Object builder items. By that, I think he means that he's gonna add collision. I mean, geometry is collision. So like when you go on a fence and it stops you, you're touching the geometry basically.
Yep.
And object builder items. I mean, they all have geometry, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's talking about exactly.
Okay. If you want to expand on that, Darkwing, we can come back to that one. kind of a bit of moving away a little bit, but the buildings in DayZ, it's always been an issue for me. How many buildings? There's parts of them you can't enter. There's some buildings you can't even enter at all. You can climb on top of some of them, but is there a reason for? I'm very cognizant of the fact that the map is massive by most game scales, and that to have everything fully enterable might be too much for it. Is that the case, or what's the deal there?
There's multiple reasons. I'll start. I guess one of them being it's going to take a lot of time to model all of these new rooms. It's like an insane amount of work. Plus, you have to maybe create some new assets, like new furniture, or maybe. So that's already like a ton of work when you look at all the different buildings in DayZ. That is insane. And one other reason is the loot economy. If you have more rooms in houses and buildings, you would expect more loot to spawn, I guess. And it's, for example, I'm gonna take the armor-free barracks building. Yeah. This one is, I think, it's one of the buildings where all the rooms are opened, or most of them. But you talked about it in the Northwest Airfield debate. Yeah. Nothing spawned in there. This is the very, very reason why. I guess not all the buildings have fully enterable rooms. Because you're gonna spend so much time looting a town, for example, and you're gonna be like, damn, I just spent 40 minutes and I found a can of food and a rock or something. And I think there's some more reason, also performances. It takes a lot of performance because obvious reasons. You have more polygons to display or whatnot. This is the main reasons why. It's loot economy that's gonna unbalance a lot of things, and
so kind of heading off at a little bit of a tangent. There's that guy who's working on making those buildings fully functional. How is that happening? Is that even legal? Is that something that BI is going to strike down, or what's the deal behind that? If you can talk about it, of course.
All I can say is I've seen this very same building a few years ago being posted somewhere, and I don't think the guy made it. But again, maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know.
But is that something that could be done? Someone could create a fund or create a program where they redesign the building so that people could go and almost rebuild, or is that something that's not allowed under the end user license agreement?
If you look at Dumgra, who made that container mod, it's doable. If you modelize the building yourself, I guess it's fine. Again, it's a lot of work, and you're gonna have to delete all of the buildings manually on the map and replace them with your building. But if you do it yourself,
Cabela's got some new buildings for Banov, which I know some people don't like. I loved them. I know they're a little bit buggy with some of the stairs that lead up them and that, some of the houses and that. But I loved it. It made the map a lot more enjoyable because it was oh wow, new assets and that. That's fantastic. And I would love to see that more assets available that people could use when they're creating maps. Whether they're redesigning a map or creating their own map from scratch, rather than just using the same tired old. But then again, you've only got to look at Essica to see that you can do a lot to give it a completely different feel with the existing assets that you've got already.
Yeah, Essica, the guy who made it, was very creative with some of the stuff. I know, for example, one of the what is it? It's overhanging terrace, I think, terrace, whatever it's called. He made it with tables, and I don't know, it just looks cool. Yeah. Same for statues. He used some assets, some concrete block, and made that cool looking statues with this blocky.
Yep, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy is very creative in how to use what's available to make something completely. It was not meant to be used like that, but it works.
I'm trying to work out what you were saying there, Zabad Mice, but I'm fine with you sharing a link to your channel, mate. If you've got stuff on there as well, you know, we're not one of those channels where you can't plug yourself. We're a community channel. We're all about the community, so share a link if you want, mate. But yeah, there's a paid mod that opens doors on restarts, so any locked room can be used. It's called World Creator, I think. And Mike's saying something about most people think their nav mesh failed because no infected spawn. When it's the central economy is broken, when adding animals are infected, they just click add and don't assign an AI usage. Does that make sense to you?
Possibly. Honestly, all that's economy, and I mean nav mesh, I guess, in a way. I haven't looked too much into it. I know the basics, but yeah, probably. Yeah, if you just copy paste from Chernarus, there might be some issues. So I don't know. I don't know enough to talk about it, I would say.
Yep. So what was the first thing they got you to work on when you started the job? I'm guessing it was, what's the name of that little town again?
Nizhnoye?
Nizhnoye, that's it. Was that your first task?
First task was the first task was to not discover the tools because I already kind of knew about it, but just starting working on Chernarus, fixing a few issues. I remember the very first issue I fixed was around. It was either way Novad or not Svetlod, the other one, West. Anyway, there was like a road with like a dip in a road, like the terrain was dipping a bit too much, and when you were driving a car on this road at high speed, it was just gonna stop the car like straight. You know? And that was the first thing I did is take like one of these balls I showed you for like the terrain and just raise the terrain a bit to smooth it out. That was the very first thing I did, and then I did a few other things, and yeah, I think after like 2 weeks, I think I had the choice. Like there's like a few tasks I can do, and one of them was being remake Nizhnoye. Because Nizhnoye was one of these towns that hasn't changed since Arma 2, and it kind of showed, you know. It was very basic and bare bones, and I was like, you know, it's a spawn town. I think it's going to be more meaningful to change this one. And so I did, and I was like, okay, let's look at how they did it in real life. And
hang about. They gave you the task. Was it this is what we require, or was it create something and come back to us with what you've created? Did they give you pretty much full artistic license?
The task was revamp Nizhnoye. That's it.
Wow.
And yeah, I had
that's pretty cool, man, that they give you that level of trust.
Yeah, I mean, if I start putting like castle walls around the city and make some stupid stuff, Adam's gonna be like, okay, I'm not too sure about this. But yeah, it's like revamp Nizhnoye. We'll see what happens. And I mean, if you can open like the stuff I sent you the other day, can maybe show you like the process or like what I did to plan all of that. I don't know if you still have the file.
Give me 1 sec. I think I did download all that stuff you sent through.
Yeah, because I looked at the real life, real life Nizhnoye, which is called Charotis or something. It's a weird name. I mean, it's on the entire coast of Chernarus. Like the rails, the train tracks are above the road. It's elevated, and I was like, that would be interesting because I really like this train underpass, you know, for the cars. It would be interesting to try this for Nizhnoye. And Adam was like, I'm not sure how it's gonna look. You can try, and I mean, so I did. And it looked very interesting. I think it gives like some personality to the town.
I think I deleted all those files. I was
Really?
cleaning up my computer because I was running out of space.
Hang on, let me try to see if I can find them. Is no here. Okay, I think I got it. You got it, or
No, I found it.
oh, you found it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, let me stream this then. I still have DayZ running. Yeet. Okay, so I got no sound. So this was like me trying to see if it was possible to elevate the terrain like this. I was doing this like on a very old version of DayZ map. But basically this is before I really started working on the layout, so it's like the new Nisnoye with the old layout, so it's kind of weird, I guess, if you look at it now. Yeah, I was just trying to see if it was at least possible and how it would look in like the general spectrum of things. Yeah, this was probably in March of 2022. I recorded this. And yeah, we looked at it and we were like, okay, surprisingly looks pretty good, so we could try this. These rails, by the way, oh my god. I mean, you can see I just did like a rough job here, but it's so painful to align them perfectly.
And I understand that's part of the issue for Arkansas's train mod, isn't it?
Listen, I think this mod is a fraud, okay?
Shots fired.
Seriously, how long has it been? Like 3-4 years, maybe? I haven't seen the light of it, okay?
Yeah.
It's fake news. It doesn't exist.
Fake news.
Listen, it doesn't exist until it's on a workshop, all right?
Yep.
But no, actually, I think even if there is no rails, I think he's using like some polylines or like something. Like the train is basically following a path.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter if it has rails or not, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how it did it. He doesn't talk much about it anyway, so yeah, this is and still has the thing. Oh yeah, and that was in Torrent Builder. Yeah, you can see some of the buildings are like clipping into the terrain. But yeah, this is like early footage before I really started working on it.
Yep. So that's all pretty much your own personal design.
Yeah.
That's impressive, mate. That is. That was it a good feeling when you finally got it done and they said, "Yep, we're happy with that."
Yeah, I mean, especially it was like the first time I mean, that was the very first big task I was given. And at the end, I remember like one of the designers talked to me and he said like, this is the first village that looks like a real village, I guess. I don't know how he did it, or how he said it, but it was pretty, what's the word, like gratifications, whatever. And you can see like the before, after I just sent you. And yeah, that was a lot of fun doing this. I was very excited for, I think it was 117 to come out. And people loved it, so that was a good feeling.
This is the after.
Yeah, so you can see it's not only like changing the town layout. Like just because I wanted to raise the train tracks, I had to modify the whole hill so it doesn't look weird, you know.
Yeah. There we go.
You can see even like on the bottom right the remaining of the SATA map of the docks.
Yep.
Let's move, yeah. Yeah, there's like a lot more that goes into it than what people think.
I'm constantly amazed at just how much is still being done on the actual map. Because Chernarus, like there was a comment earlier on where someone said, "Why is Chernarus so good?" And it amazes me that there's still so much work being done on it. You know, some that has been quite contentious, such as the Northwest Airfield, and others like this, which have been pretty much overwhelmingly positively received.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is so much more beautiful. The change you did to it.
Thank you. Yeah, and I wonder, like, was Chernarus that good back then? Because I mean, it was. I guess is what makes Chernarus that good is just all the work that has been made over the last, I don't know, like 9 years or something. Because if you look at Chernarus on Arma 2, I mean, it's not bare bones by any means, but like the whole west side is missing, you know. And it's a lot more simplified.
The western side of Chernarus back in the day, other than Mishkino tents, was pretty bland and boring.
Yeah, basically just there was nothing. There was like a few trails, you know.
Yeah, it's where people would go to put their tents in their barrels to try and hide them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, the Western expansion that was like one of the best map updates, I think. Like it just added like so much more like life to it. And I don't know, like do I have like more screenshots of this place?
Well, I want to go on to something else that I'm very curious about from the map and environment design aspect of it. Underground. Now we've got pretty much our first subterranean area with the Livonia update, and we'll come back to that shortly. But what's the biggest challenge with adding underground? Like like a lot of people, I've always dreamed of subways. Sorry, not subways. Sewage tunnels and things like that. That you can use in some of the bigger towns, maybe some at Tizzy, to get around, underground and be hidden. What's the biggest challenge with doing that with the DayZ maps the way that they're designed?
Well, I guess like the biggest one is like just on a technical side is I don't know if you've seen how it was made for Livonia. But I mean, actually, a lot of games do it like this. Apparently, is that you dig a big hole in the ground. Like it's not like you can cut the terrain off. It's that you have to take these pixels and just drag them down, make a hole, and you place your bunker, like whatever you want, inside of this hole. And then you make a fake terrain, like an actual 3D model object, to cover the hole, basically.
Yep.
And it seems like, it looks fine, but it's basically like fake terrain. It's not a real underground per se. It's more like the technical difficulty of doing this, because then you have to do the textures, to put like the sat map on these objects and blend it with a mask so it doesn't look weird or out of place. Then the way it works in DayZ, the grass is automatically spawned on what is it? It spawns on these textures, and you cannot do this with an object. You have to place it manually everywhere. So I guess that's one of the difficulties, and I'm not even talking about how long or like difficult it was to model the whole underground areas.
Are we ever going to see something with the bunkers up at Tizzy? Because like Orion says there, that yes, there is technically the underground section at Tizzy. And also you could say that there is some at the Kamenks military as well. But it's always kind of be like a teaser. You go, hardly anyone ever goes down there in the command building up at Tizzy, but that underground bunker and the door just leads really nowhere other than those couple of rooms.
I cannot confirm or deny.
That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome, yeah. Check Discord message from me. Will do.
I can send you like some, since you don't have the files anymore, I can send you like some screenshots by DM from like early development.
This is nice. That's much better than what I was doing before. That shows the change very well, doesn't it? That's just beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
That's very clever. Did you do that yourself, Rexto? Okay. There we go. Everyone's starting to come back. Yeah, that Nizhnoy comparison, Raxto, that's very, very cool. Very, very pinged on Discord 5 times. That would have been when I was trying to start it again. Yeah, so apparently my part of my issue was to do with the fact that I had what do you call it, bloody NVIDIA Shadow Play going in the background. So you live and you learn. Right, so where were we? Yeah, we'll talk about Livonia. Carry on.
Yeah, I was gonna show like some if you go in DMs, I sent you some screenshots of development footage of the underground area. How it was supposed to be, how we changed it over time.
Let me just get it all open.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, how many did you send through?
Hmm.
How many did you send through, lad?
Just a few. I could send you videos, but I don't think Discord is gonna like this.
No, you could just play them, mate, and we could watch your stream.
Yeah.
Okay, got them all open. Let's So talk us through. What have we got?
So this was supposed to be the, what's it called? It's like the room with like all the tarps now, the yellow tarps. This is how like I made it originally, and I wasn't satisfied at all with how it looked, and I was like, okay, we have an opportunity to change it, and Adam accepted very thankfully. It was not planned at all, and we basically did this like we were not supposed to do it, but we did it anyway. And I mean, I don't want to spoil you, Boydie, because you haven't seen
No.
the current. Yeah. Well, this is the room with like the yellow tarps and everything. Now it looks super cool.
Yep.
So you can see just how different it is. And yeah, I basically made actually all of these interiors, the different interiors for this. We can switch to like the next one. Yeah, it's just like another angle.
Yep.
Yeah, this was a fun one. It's just like a visual bug in Object Builder, which is the tool you use to open like the 3D models of DayZ.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like some massacre happened, but it's just like a visual bug with multi-materials, I think. And same for like the next one. I think it's just like another angle. Go to the next one. Yes, the same picture, I think. Okay, next. Yeah, this was I don't know how early it is, but yeah, you can see it's like the entry to the bunker.
Because I have been here, and this looks very different to what I saw.
Yeah, it's much less trees. I think it's not even that. Most of the trees are missing. Like, you're not supposed to see that tower from here, I think. Yep. But it's like, hang on, maybe I can. No, I don't know. Adam sent me this picture. I don't know from where it's from. And this, yeah, you can see like how it's done. Basically, there is no ground cover here. You can see like the terrain just dips like super far down.
Yeah. And
you have to cover it with the fake 3D objects, and you can basically see how it's done. So it's very cool to see it like this. I have a video anyway, and this is the early ground cover we made from the old terrain.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll try to share a video of Adam sent me, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was me actually. Let me stream it. I think it's this one. And 22/07/21st. Okay, so it was July 21st, I think.
And confirmation that Adam's a hacker?
Yeah. Actually, I think it was me recording this.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
Can you send me that button where I can just press that button and get kitted like that? That'd be cool.
Just apply on the Bohemia website for, we have some open positions.
Okay.
Maybe you'll get access to it if you can hurry up. Okay, this is much better footage. You can actually see what's going on. I was trying to get inside, I think. So this is why development takes time, for this. Just falling like this through the ground. There you go. And this is... You don't have to watch, Boydie, if it's spoiling you.
No. More important that people get to understand exactly what you've done here.
As you can hear, like the alarm clock was like the placeholder sound for the door.
The kitchen timer alarm clock, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, this is just untextured interior and all of the empty rooms here that I had to put objects. Yeah, I was just running around, kind of discovering it at the same time because some people modeled all of this and I didn't see it yet. And it was just so cool. Like I love these pipes, it's like a small detail,
Yep.
but I don't know. This is what gives life to.
It does. It's a little bits of attention to detail, like we talked about with Essica, the main city of Essica. Just you can do a lot with the existing assets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, just early footage discovering the whole thing. There was no darkness; it was all lit up. Yeah, it's just me going around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was like some early footage. I mean, early. It was before August, so yeah, July, and that was a bug.
A what?
Classic. A bug when you shoot near the ground.
A what?
Oh, a feature.
Unintended game feature. Thank you. Thank you. They make me ban your ass. That's awesome. And like Mark said there in chat, mate, this behind the scenes footage is cool to see. These are the interiors of the Northwest Airfield hangars. and I agree with Stud Muffin. Yeah, this would be cool to see. Yeah, I don't know how hard it would be for you guys to actually do it. But yeah, these behind the scenes of making something like this, because let's face it, you've got probably one of the most public facing jobs in the dev team, the map design, because that's something that's very easy for us to see from the outside, the changes that are made. Like the quarry, the bunker, obviously, and stuff like that. It would be really cool to see, to get you to record, maybe work with Scotty in the community team, and when a big update like this is done, like the Northwest Airfield rework, record some of the stuff and maybe do a talking through of narration of the things you've taken into consideration, which kind of segues into the next thing I want to talk about. Have you got a sneak peek for us?
I'm sorry, but no. Like everyone's lucky at least to know that a revamp is coming. Don't look at me like this. No. No. Okay, I cancel everything. We're not doing a rework.
The DayZ experimental account, the Northwest Field. That was good. Yeah. That was really good, mate. I liked that. That was, and a couple of us went along with it to try to add some credibility to it. But did you get many people with it?
I don't know, actually. Like, not as many as sometimes we do. Like the most stupid and obvious posts on it, and people take it seriously. And this one title, like Inclement Dab, told me it looks too serious. People are gonna, people are gonna believe it. But I don't think that many people took it seriously, especially with the comment that says, "This is not Photoshop. This is actual in-game footage, and this is not a joke." But maybe just a bit. So maybe they saw that. I don't know. But it's just a fun thing I did in like an hour and a half almost.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, I'll bring it up now. But this was the tweet that they put out. Hey survivors, as our community manager mentioned in Toprek's interview, and they linked to it, Northwest Airfield is getting overhauled in 2023. Here's the result. Northwest Field. We replaced the airfield by just fields. And then they had the two photos. It was actually very well done too. It was actually very well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, literally I can go in game right now and show it to you and fly around. But yeah, honestly, it just took me an hour. Just go on Photoshop on the satellite image and replace everything. Just like add some fields.
Yep.
Delete all the objects. I don't know. It was easier than expected. And if you go down in the comments, there's a video.
So how can I ask how far into the rework are you?
Well, I can tell you that much. Even before it was announced, it's probably like 95% done.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already pretty much completed the rework. There's still some areas I'm gonna possibly change, and now it's all like the very small details. But I'm just saying, by the way, it doesn't mean that it's for the next update.
No,
Like it could be it could be the last update of the year. Like it's not because it's 100% done that it's going to be for the next one.
Yep.
Just
I do
just
like
saying.
what Shui just wrote in chat as well, and I this is just me talking out of my ass, my opinion, for what it's worth. But one of the things I loved about the Livonia bunker was it was something that you could work towards doing, an optional thing. I love, and I'm going to mention something here, but we're not going to go into that topic. But I love the idea of like what Rearmed has with key cards that open certain special locations and things like that. I would love to see something like that at either the Northwest Airfield, Tizzy, Kamensk Military, these locations that you can, if you find the right sort of gear, get into a special area that could have higher tier loot. Just so it's something completely optional, locked rooms or whatever. I don't know whether that's even viable, but the idea of an armory at an airfield is something viable. Something where there's a higher chance of finding weapons, ammo, high tier stuff. But yeah.
That would be interesting. Again, cannot say anything about something like this, but that's a good idea.
No, that's fine. I know you can't, mate, but I do like that. Did you take a lot of the community feedback on board?
The Northwest?
Yeah.
I'm looking into it all the time, especially here on the Discord. There's always talks about it, so it's always interesting to see what people like or don't like about the current one or the previous one and whatnot. But if I would take feedback from everyone...
not months, we're talking weeks.
I would just remove the airfield, It's impossible. Like, people obviously have different tastes and expectations, so...
Are you worried?
No, I'm excited. I'm very keen to see the reactions and what people think of it. I'm confident on of what I'm doing.
It's a big job, mate. It is a big job because the Northwest Airfield is, one of the most definitive locations of the map. It's right up there with the Northeast Airfield. It's bigger than the Northeast Airfield, in my opinion. And the change from the old Northwest Airfield was so massive. It was a massive change that took a lot of us by, wow, that just sort of come out of nowhere. Didn't expect such a massive change. I'm not. I don't mind the new airfield. I get people's complaints about it, but yeah, it's. I don't mind it, but it's a bit confusing. So I'm really interested to see where you go. Have you been given free rein on this, or is this something that they're giving you clear guidelines of what they're wanting?
I'm going to say yes and no. I mean, I'm the one who brought up the rework of Northwest Airfield because I wasn't satisfied with the current one, and it's not like I have like full free what do you call it again? Like free thinking of free planning. But I've got a lot of freedom on what I'm doing, and me and Adam both. I mean, especially like Adam looks into it and maybe advises me.
Mm-hmm.
But I still get a lot of freedom to do what I want.
So, how do we go about, like I know Marx is wanting a statue of him put there. Do we send your money to your PayPal to, maybe get the 87.8 Survivor FM logo on the ATC or something like that? Is that something we can get done, mate?
I accept bribery.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like, have you got anything else in mind that you're thinking of that you could talk about? Obviously, if you can't, you can't. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. So many questions, I guess, but so many possible answers.
It would be remiss of me if I didn't ask this question, but why? And if you can't answer, mate, just tell me to bugger off. But a new map. It's something that, particularly the poor buggers over there on console are always crying out for. But is that something that might ever be considered, or you just can't talk about that?
I think Scotty talked about it on Toprak's interview.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think he said he doesn't want to split. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them is he's going to split a lot of people. He's going to split the players playing on certain maps. That's one of the issues, because if you have 10 DayZ maps, you're just going to end up with a lot of half full servers or 10 players playing on one map. And that's going to be an issue. And also, the biggest one is just making a DayZ map, an open world map like this. It's 10,000s of hours,
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work.
Part of what why I brought that up was it wasn't just put you on the spot, but something that I've considered. One of the reasons why, when you look at all the, we'll talk about PC here. We've got a virtual plethora of maps to choose from. Takistan. We've got Bitterroot coming now. We've got Essica, as incomplete as it is. Banov, Deer Isle. The list just goes on. The one map, though, out of all of them that has maintained its relevancy is Demolsk. And I truly believe part of the reason for that is the size of Demolsk. There's a lot of people who just want to be able to jump in, who don't have, they don't have the 40, 50 hours a week like a lot of content creators do, and some other people, to jump in and invest in a big server like Chernarus or Livonia. So a lot of people gravitate to Demolsk because of the size of it. You can pretty much be down south if you want in 30 minutes to an hour, and relatively geared, which it enables that faster pace. And I do feel that there is a market for, I know we won't get Demolsk ported across, which is sad, but I understand there's reasons behind that. But for DayZ itself, BI to create a map that is smaller sized for those people who want that faster paced engagement. I just think there's a market for that. So yeah, I'm the same, Melbourne. I don't hate it. Actually, no, I don't hate it. But I like the bigger maps. I like getting lost. And it's probably one of the things. Then again, I haven't even completed all the aspects of Demolsk. Still haven't made it to Lantia one day. But I think that's something that you guys should definitely look at in the dev team. Is that smaller map to cover that player base of people who, one of the biggest complaints you hear about DayZ from people new to the game is it's so fucking hard to catch up with your mates. It's not really an issue on Demolsk, because it's smaller. Nearly everyone ends up in the main city there, Vorkuta or whatever it is, Vorkuta, and then you can catch up quite quickly. Whereas if you talk about Chernarus, one of you might spawn down all the way down near Electro, the other guy might spawn all the way up north. So it could take you an hour to catch up if you don't die in the meantime. So I think that's definitely something the dev team should look at. And look, I'll throw it out there to the community. If you agree, leave a comment in chat on this video when it's uploaded and that. If that would be something, because, if enough people were to say that they like the idea, they may consider it. The worst they're going to say is no. But I definitely think that that's something worthwhile, and maybe even add proper snow.
That would be interesting. I was actually listening to the Running Man streaming the other day, and I think it was the Running Man. He said like how much the mask changed the way people play DayZ.
Mm-hmm.
Especially these streamers like Minder, Toprek, all of these big streamers. They went through like the deep, like the abyss of DayZ. When it was like 1,000 players, you would play and see nobody for like 4 hours.
Yep.
And they were used to it. They were fine with it, I guess. I mean,
and now
it's not like you had a choice.
Everyone wants Grand Central Station.
Yeah, and everyone had a taste of the mask, and they expect to meet people every 30 minutes on Chernarus or Livonia and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I guess the mask influenced a lot the way people play DayZ, and now they would, I guess, a smaller map would be nice, but again, it's what Scotty said on Toprek's interview. Same reasons.
Yeah, I get that, but I still think there's an argument to be made for it. Particularly when you've got console, but at the same time, you could probably put it back to the Elden Ring argument that this is what DayZ is. Deal with it. And if you don't like it, go and buy a gaming PC and come across to PC where you've got everything. But I'm more like you, Melbourne. I like getting lost. I don't want to be in Grand Central Station. Too much noise, and it makes me feel like I'm playing PUBG or Armour or something like that. I like to be able to get lost, and yeah. We've got a few questions from people. Stud Muffin, we sort of covered this one. What goes into the process of reworking areas on Chernarus? Azamat's question, though. There was a nothing or an old teaser roughly where Utes and Old Island used to be. Nothings in previous teasers of Livonia have become new point of interest in recent updates. Is there anything else coming to Chernarus aside from the Northwest Airfield revamp?
Are you saying like is Utah coming to Chernarus or something?
Well, that's the specific. Again, nothing. Yeah, we've got that right there.
Listen, you're gonna have to ask Scotty because I don't know what he had in mind with this. He still didn't tell me, I think. So, like, again, cannot confirm or deny anything. But
look, I have to ask the question. I am. Don't shoot the messenger. This was a question from a community member, so I'm going to honour them. But yeah. DayZ put out a programmer's day photo on Twitter with some binary code. Can't be asked to translate it though. Yeah. Some of that stuff is pretty awesome. The teasers that Scotty has done in the past. I've been so impressed with the work he's done in his role to add a bit of life into the community. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Scotty's always like thinking about like when he thinks of teasers, like he's always trying to link everything in his mind, Yeah, he's out there, definitely. He's a very, very cool guy.
I do just want to quickly check, because I know I posted it on Reddit as well. Check and see if anyone had any comments over here. No comments. Okay, anyone in chat, do any of you guys have any questions for our boy DanceOfJesus? We need more teasers
And
like the 1.14. That was insane. How many rocks do you want, DOJ?
Oh man. Stop it. Make it stop.
Stop it.
But yeah, while we wait for questions, I also want to say in 2017, 2018, I joined it was like a program for learning web development. And I know it's not related to like maps or like map design or whatnot, but learning HTML, JavaScript, and the ins and outs of programming per se, it helped me a lot, especially with like community offline mode and all of that. It's just go on YouTube and learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You're gonna learn a lot about computers and how video games work at the same time. Even though it's not necessarily related, it's like programming languages are very similar between each other. So I would definitely recommend people who wants to start getting into modding, even map making, or like just modding. Go there and learn, basic programming languages and all of that. It's very useful.
How did you get so good at English?
Well, funny enough, that was around like 2011, 2012, I think. I was playing games and I was kind of tired of dealing with like the poor French translation.
Yep.
That was sometimes steering way off of the original intention, like the original art, I guess. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. So I started, instead of using French voiceovers, I put English voices and French subtitles, I think, and vice versa. And just starting going on English websites, like, I don't know, it was like 9gag back then or something. Translating music I was listening to, and I was never good at English at school. I sucked at it, really. And just by playing video games and translating stuff and whatnot, over the years, it just came naturally.
Because you do speak fucking English awesome, mate. Yeah, I think you speak better than Archie, that's for sure.
I speak better than you, Australian guy.
Rubbish. Rubbish. I can't say the C-bomb anymore because YouTube's cracking down on swearing, so I've got to be more careful. I'm trying to be. From everything that you know, just a simple yes or no, will 2023 be a big year for DayZ?
No, I can say it's going to be spicy. Yeah.
Spicy, I like that.
There's going to be some spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be some spice. That's all I can tell you.
Awesome. That keeps me excited. Are we getting weapon inertia? That's not. He's the environment designer. I can't say that word, Orion. Country boy. We'll just say country boy. You probably speak better than all Australians. Utes Island military compound. When we sort of touched on that before, Johnny. So I do think that the point raised was quite good by Azamat, that nothing's in previous teasers of Livonia have become new POIs in recent updates. So fingers crossed. Utes was the original DayZ map. We learnt that from Matt Lightfoot when he was on, when they were developing it. It was all done on Utes. So it's kind of would be a nice tie-in, a nod to the old. Are any current assets getting reworked? I don't know whether you can say anything on that.
I'll tell you that much. Yes, but they're like very, 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 very small things. That's the only thing I'm gonna tell you.
How many Easter eggs have been discovered that you put in to Livonia?
Okay, interesting question. There's a few that still haven't been discovered, and I can tell you one, at least. On Livonia.
Don't tell us. Give us a hint. Give us a hint.
I'm just gonna give you a hint. It's in a bunker area. Maybe it's close to the bunker, maybe it's far away. I don't know. It's in that general area, I guess. That's all I'm gonna say. Probably everyone saw it, but no one noticed.
Okay.
And it's a law thing. So. And yeah, there's there's a few still. People haven't found. This one I'm very surprised no one found yet. There is another one. It's a very tiny Easter egg. And there's another one here as well, like in some big cities. But yeah, again, I'm not going to say anything.
In Chernarus that haven't been discovered yet?
Okay, as far as I know, I discovered all of them. And I know the last one. In northern Chernarus. I know what it is. I'm just gonna give you a very small hint, but like if you want to find it, you're gonna have to start think outside of the box. That's what I'm gonna say. It's like next level Easter egg.
There's one in the north, undiscovered. Think outside the box.
This is the one Adam teased like a few months ago on his stream. He said like there's like one in northern Chernarus, I think.
Okay, that's good. I see. I love Easter eggs. It's something.
As far as I know, it's the last one, the very last one that's still on Chernarus and haven't been found.
Chad, that's not something that DOJ can answer, an electronic code lock, because he's just the environment designer. So that's something for Sumrak or Adam Franku or one of the other devs to be able to talk about. Definitely not something for the environment designer. Unfortunately, outside the playable box. Okay, so has anyone else got any last questions for our boy DOJ? We are well, Mr. White. We are well. We've had quite a good discussion. One last thing I do want to talk about, your own personal map. Where you at with that?
At this point, I can say it's weeks, not months.
You got any sneak peeks for us of that?
Nah. Never. It's not coming out. It's not happening.
I'm going to ask you something. Essica.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing map, but it's so incomplete.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on people releasing maps before they're 100% complete?
I think it's risky. I mean, some of the maps paid the price for it, more or less. I mean, if you looked at least Deer.io is doing very good now, which is cool. But again, if you release too soon, I think there's going to be a lot of hype around it, and people are going to be like, okay, it's not finished. I'll maybe try later, and they're just going to forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's one risk. I think it's a risky move. And I mean, I've been kind of guilty of it at some point on a smaller scale, but
I think
don't hype.
Did it quite well. That what he released was very playable, and then he just expanded on it. And he did have a novel way of expanding on it by adding these, parts you can go to that didn't really change the actual playing area that he'd already released. I thought that was quite a good way to go. But yeah, I agree with you. I've always found it kind of risky. People releasing maps when they're not ready, when they're not finished completely.
I think one of the reasons why Namalsk is so so successful is, I mean, not only it was like an old map, so like there's some nostalgia, but
Had a legacy, yeah.
it was impactful because it was complete and there was a lot of features. It felt different, played differently, and it was just complete. So it's
you just reminded me as well. Like we'll talk about in the Moleskine, the smaller maps thing. Sorry to cut you off, but one of the things I would like to see as well is a map designed for DayZ by the dev team, because primarily what we've got from the dev team is 2 maps that were designed for armor. That have been basically repurposed for DayZ. I would love to see a DayZ specific map created by the DayZ dev team. Something that we've never seen before, just something completely designed by you guys. That would be the dream come true for me. Something where, like we saw with, Essica, the main city of Essica is the gold standard for me of you just... I hadn't played it in ages. I went back on there the other week and I got to the city and I was just like, my God, this is so well done. As buggy as it is and incomplete and, things are clashing with each other and that, it just looks so amazing to wander through that city. It really feels like there was an apocalypse. That's probably one of my only criticisms of Chernarus, is at times it doesn't feel that immersive. So a map designed specifically for DayZ, do you understand what I mean, DOJ?
I mean, I'm not sure, but what I can say is like Bohemia likes to take real-life locations and start from a real-life location and either way keep it as it is or transform it a bit in their own way. So I don't think there can be that much difference between an Arma map and a DayZ map, other than, making it look a bit more rundown and stuff like that. So in terms of like location, I don't know if there is really like a big difference, because you're just taking real life location and recreating it in a video game and you just let it be, kinda,
Yep.
If I'm simplifying a lot, but...
Yeah, I'd just love to see one designed. And what I was trying to say, Lekovus, is that when Chernarus was made, it was designed around armor. When Livonia was made, it was designed around the Armor 3 Contact DLC. Again, a map that is designed specifically for DayZ. We need a small official map from the dev team. That's basically, we were saying that before, Asmondian, that a map like the size of Demolsk, because there's a lot of people. I think it would just increase the player base. And yes, it may take some people away from Chernarus and Livonia, but I think it would bring more people in, that there's a smaller map that's easier to meet people. I really do think that there is... some scope for a small size custom DayZ map, and it'd be great for console to get an extra different map as well. I know we've got Zagoria and some other amazing stuff being worked on, but a whole specific new map designed thinking of DayZ, just to made to look more because you're kind of right there about that a lot of it, but just think of what Essica's main city looks like compared to Chernarus and Electro and or Cherno and Electro and that. They're leagues apart, aren't they, DOJ?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played Essica all that much. I looked into it and played it a bit, but not all that much. And I guess it has like its own style. It's very unique. So yeah, I guess if that's what you mean, I can understand. Yeah.
Yep. Something designed, Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. You could tell me in the comments, but yeah. No. We're not talking about that, George or Johnny. No. I don't even know if you can do that. I know some people have played around with the old one, but yeah. Look, guys and girls, if no one has any other questions, DOJ, I think we covered everything we wanted to talk about. Was there anything else?
Yeah, I guess we talked about a lot of things, so yeah, most of it should be covered.
Awesome. Mate, like I said at the start of the show, mate, I am so happy for you. And I'm really glad that you're enjoying the job. Because you and I have spoken a bit off stream and all the rest of it, and you've just said you're loving it. We hear a lot about what it's like to work for BI, but
Yeah, I mean, like when I said to a few friends, like I'm gonna work for BI. I mean, I was gonna apply for BI. They told me, "Nah, it's a bad idea. Have you seen like the reviews, like notoriously on what's it called, Glassdoor or something?" Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm not happy with what I'm doing right now. I was in a good team, like doing web development. Like people were amazing, but I didn't really like it. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do then. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go there. If it's bad, well, it's bad, and I'm just gonna go back in France, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like super surprised how cool it is to work there. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with what's on that Glassdoor website. And I mean, I guess there was like maybe some issues back then, but it's nothing like it. Really, it's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
I wish you all the best, mate, and I can't wait to see what you come up with, both for the Northwest Airfield and whatever else Utes Island confirmed. You heard it first here.
No, maybe I cannot confirm or deny.
And I'm very excited to see what you work on, or what you come out with your own map. Because
I'm excited for all of this.
No shade at anyone who's made any other maps, but you've only got to look at the quality of Namolsk. And Adam, of course, we would expect something of that quality to come from Adam. He's a dev team member. He was the environment designer before he moved into this role. So, I'm expecting the same sort of quality with your map as we saw from Namolsk. And if you don't, everyone's going to eternally know your shame.
I'm confident people are gonna like it.
So am I, mate. What you've shown me, I'm excited for it. Something a bit different than anything else out there. So, yeah, we're talking weeks, not months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exclusive.
It's been weeks and months.
Exclusive reveal on the DayZ podcast when you do it, mate.
We'll see.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Listen, once again,
you do as you're fucking told.
I accept bribery.
Mate.
Yeah, look, I'm super excited for it.
So am I, mate. So am I. Super excited for yet another, what looks like it's going to be an amazing year for DayZ. So, yeah. Mate, thank you once again so much for coming in. Chat, thank you all so much. And just remember, if you do have a question about map making, hit up Big Grandpa's Discord. Join the modders Discord. I'll try to make sure I've got links for them in the description of the video as well. And don't be afraid to send DOJ a message. If he can help you, he'll help you. He's a good bloke.
If you have a question about
map making, don't believe the rumors about him.
If you have a question about map making, post it on DayZ Models Terrain channel, because everyone can see it and everyone can help you. It's going to be much better.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, mate. Thank you so much. I am going to get some sleep. It's 2:30 in the morning here. I've got chores to do tomorrow, but yeah, thank you all so much. Once again, Murray, Pettyweddy, thank you so much for the donations. I really appreciate it. All the support goes towards keeping the community running and doing our awesome Christmas giveaways, which we've already started thinking about as well. The next one Potentially we may be doing one. I'm in the middle of trying to work out this shit fight surrounding Rearmed at the moment, and these videos where the source of all their claims just seems to be trust me, bro. Yeah, we will get to the bottom of that and try to find out what's going on there. But the next spotlight will be next weekend, and it's going to be with the one and only Dumpgraph, folks. So make sure you stay tuned in for that one. I'll get everything set up for that this week as well. But yeah, DOJ, you're a legend, mate. I'm really, really proud and happy for you, and I'm glad you're loving the job, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. What can I tell?
Awesome. All the best, mate. And we will see you in the next interview. Ciao for now.
Well.